much room here. Well, for those on the replay, there's no scribes here. I'll make some noise. 6 of the 6, 19. See the title. You've obviously seen that and chosen to watch. Thank you for choosing to watch. It's random, somewhat of a memory dump. You and me, the dance floor. That's what it's for. Oh wow. Forgive the music. It keeps the atoms flowing, keeps the energy flowing. There's quite a lot going off in man's head at the minute. First most, I have spoken to the brother Michael O'Byrnacia. It's going to remain private, but contact has been made. Perseverance is the key. All I can say is what a lovely man, what an excellent example of a man. And yeah, it's leave it with me. I've taken my mind off things. I've had a stressful, strong, that's formerly known as a week. As you can see, we are part of this consciousness movement is to consciously choose words that we use, how we speak, how we vibrate, and how we interact with others has a definitive effect, you know, negative and positive. So I've tried to take my mind off things after a stressful, strong. I've had to sit down with our lass. I washed off the paint, the mould, the dust, and I've been advised to watch a film called Thor Ragnarok, 2017 Marvel production. And after 48 minutes, I'm now making this video because I can't watch anymore. I do watch Hollywood blockbusters with family, you know, and I try not to be the one that, you know, I find them hard to watch. I research them, I critique them too much, and I ruin it for everybody. I guess the plot, you know, it's not a surprise to me, these films anymore. But I have tried to watch Thor Ragnarok. Forgive me, I'm not a Marvel fanatic, but I'm aware. Right, so that film, if you've watched that presentation, wow. We'll go into that in a bit. I am the Grand Master. I particularly like that part. Myths and history. At this moment in time, I, David, can see that the academic institution, I've got history as a lie. We can prove that. You can prove that. And the myths are, you know, a lie, but they are we know they're the truth. So as it stands, myths are a lie and history is true. But we know history is a lie and myths are true. So what are they doing in Thor? This is not funny. It's dirty warfare. It's dirty warfare. I'm sorry, but that's why I had to stop it, because it's late. It's late. I want to vibrate positively, but yeah. So linking on from that, I told you it's random, and it's 2scrabble, the rabble, the babble. He's having a babble. I am. What else? Get my notes. Got post-its ahoy up here. You can't see them because there's the date and personal stuff on them, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me go on the flow. Let me keep the flow. Let me go with the flow. Can't beat the system. If you're looking for that attitude, go with the flow. Yeah, dirty warfare is what it is. Thor, Ragnarok, the Marvel, how that's been put together, and the connotations within them, that film, I will come back to. I will pin and re-loop it. Oh wow, what a tune. What else can I talk to you about then? The synchronicity, linking on to history, myths and legends, the synchronicities. You know, when we say we work for the Creator, we are working for the Most High. Our mission is one of the most sacred, the sacred contract. You've got it, I've got it. Whether you recognize it is another thing. Whether you choose to interact with it is another thing. But I've had something weird happen. I was talking to Anne-Marie about getting a van and putting solar systems in it and making like a a little camper, and then using it as a model of what could be done on a shoestring. And as I was over the last few weeks talking about a van and the options, because I would like to go, what's the word, self-governing, self-sustaining and fully private. So there's a market and a niche for us to be utilising certain objects, and whether that be a mobile van or a mobile home or a mobile office, it has various uses and connotations. So there are certain what can I call them, horses out there, carriages that could be utilised very well with very little minimum effort, very safely, legally and lawfully, whichever you choose. So I've been talking with Brother Lee in Sheffield, and we did that coverage on the hydrogen and the hydroxy, hydrogen and oxy chat. And so I've rang Jason, ecomotors.co.uk, inventor, proprietor, who I'm an agent for, and I was chewing the cud with him, and then one thing and another, turns out that he might know somebody who can get hold of some batteries for us, which is nice, for projects. And scrapyards, anybody that knows anybody with a scrapyard, we'd like some dibs on some batteries. A call out to Tube, anybody that knows anybody with a scrapyard. We'd like to do a community project, and we'd like scrapyards to collect up batteries, and we'd like them to give them to our delegates and agents within that community area, and then we will outlay through video, open cast, open source, and we will show you the options for going forward with this technology. There is even technology to recycle these batteries. So he gave me a spark on that, and then I've had another conversation with a brother, and it turns out there might be a van available for free for me to do up. So you get repayment in many kinds, options opening up, options that are worth far more than fancy bits of paper with bits of the Queen on it. We live in a monetary system, and we are all about the paper and the dollar bills, all about the Benjamins. And I used to DJ, go into old school music now. What is the True Faith, Take Me Away is the tune. If you'd like to search YouTube, if you're an old school floaty like crispy quaver and an old school raver, then do me a favour, True Faith, Take Me Away. And it says in there, come with me to the dance floor. I used to entertain many on the dance floor. YouTube is my dance floor. I am mixing the phonics and the words and things together, and I see my entertainment in a different way now. And I have become a party myself. I am a tripart, mind, body and soul, but legally I am a two-party. I can be a two-party, and it's very interesting, the perception on things, so the synchronicity with getting offered a Ford Transit long wheelbase 2000 van that's been stood in a barn for 15 years. It's got 50,000 miles on the clock, and 50,000 miles on the clock, stood for about 15 years, down south, in a barn, ex-ambulance. It's got some camping gear in it. It'll put a battery on it. We'll get it for an MOT. It needs welding, and then I'm going to chuck about £1,000, 1,500 quid at it. Solar panels, all these batteries, some renovation of sorts, and hydrogen cleans. I'm going to turn an old, dirty, tired, rusty, stud Ford for 15 years. Bear that in mind when I unveil it in several months' time at the end of the summer, if all goes to plan. The Queen, she says yes. And I'm going to go down and look at it. So just by chatting and manifesting certain thoughts along areas without trying, I've stumbled upon a gold mine of batteries from a scrapyard. And when the man gets batteries in, he rings this bloke up down there and he says, you want these? And he puts them to one side. So there is a relationship going on there. There's a trust agreement going on there, without any stamps, without any courts, without any ecclesiastical, without any legals, without any chancery, without any bullshit like that. There's a trust. That man in that scrapyard and that man there have got a little trust going on, and it's all good. This man here has got the technology to recondition batteries. So we have the option to get not unlimited batteries, but then again, depends how many mans out there of the scribe familans and know anyone with a scrapyard that wants to play a little game called Let's Get Free Electric. So synchronicities are very strong, which then brings me up to travelling behind cargo bull. I found another bull, everybody. Whoop, whoop. New bull alert. Schmitz trailer is spelt SCHMIDTZ. They're international cargo freight trailer hauliers called Schmitz. We know that name, don't we? And the routes too. These must be very rich, is what I'm saying. They're a rich family. They're probably an elitist family. That cargo bull. Not only that, it's got a red bull in the corner going, "Hiya, Dave. I'm another bull. I'm trying to concentrate on the A38, and my subconscious is taking me away." I'm what? Schmitz. Yeah, okay, that's a unique name for a trailer, but it's in the metal. It's not like a name as a number plate. It's in the body ironwork of the trailer, cut out the name Schmitz. You can't miss it. And I'm like, oh yeah. And I used to look up there. I'm like, what do you mean look up there? I've got to look down here. I'm travelling down the A38, morning tiny crab eyes going to work. Seeing bigger eyes on a potato than what you have me at, that timing of a morning. And look up and there's a little red bull there. I'm like, oh, another bull, yeah. And while we're on this, another C. Anybody of the Famalan that has ever dealt with or is presently registered with the UK agency, yes, you are an agent, aren't you? And you're an agent with an agency. And I like my C's. I accidentally found another C speaking to Anna Maria about agencies and agents, another C, another commercial C, and lots of agents. If you're working for an agency, yeah, then you are an agent, aren't you? What else can I look at and talk to you about? Phonics. Today I heard an interesting story, right? Now, those of you out there that are not too, strong with your command of English, if English is not your first chosen language, if your mother tongue is not English, but you live in England, there we go, and things like that, if you haven't got a strong command of the English language, Babble, yeah, and you hear words and you're not British and you wasn't born here, you've come here, you've learned, and you may be watching and you're in a foreign country to me, not foreign to me, but in a country across the pond, and you may not speak English very well, and you may listen to this crazy fool and struggle with his English. That's what I'm saying. So, if you was to hear this word, you would think of small boys and girls in India and China. And the word is euthanasia. The story was about euthanasia, but before I go on about this story, my brain went, that's that word, Dave, that when I first heard it when I was a little boy, I thought euthanasia. And I didn't realise then that it wasn't about little boys and girls and youth in Asia, and it was about elderly wanting the right to die, because medical science and modern medicine hasn't got the ability to heal them. So what we say is, rather than let them die or choose to turn off the plug themselves, we say, oh no, that's wrong. We've got to keep you alive. You're not going to recover. We know you're in pain, but we're not going to let you die. What? You want to die? Okay, well, legally you can't die. So here comes us, sovereign paralegals, and the movement there, and the consciousness evolution movement, that man's rights to a doctor get denied. Even a husband or a wife there that says, no, I can tell you that they want to pass on. We've made a decision. So euthanasia is that subject, and that subject is deep in my mind, a right for man to choose. Now, legal system will stop you, and it does that to you, and it's like, no, you can't, and that's what your legal system's done by you signing and playing in. So I know it's not anyone's fault. So in the Netherlands, I do believe you can go to sleep. And they have crazy stuff going on in the Netherlands. I'm not saying, Netherlands, I love you, first of all. Peace and love. don't be offended. But with regards to euthanasia, go check it out, scribes. I shit you not. It's not normal. That is where here you can't die. Over there, not legally. I mean, you can't legally have. You can die. Sorry, I'll word it properly. You can't legally have assisted suicide or euthanasia over here. And even if you are in a lot of pain and you won't recover and you're fully conscious, you're compos mentis, and it is your wish, you do it legally, you will be denied. So they go to Netherlands to have this done. And this poor lady, what she did, I think she was called Noah, if I remember rightly, and I was like, aha, that's a name that we're all familiar with. It's a topic of ours at the moment, and I thought maybe we need to raise a few heads about this. Noah went on a food strike, so she just basically, she was drip fed, and that wasn't enough, and she ended up passing away anyway by choosing to not eat. So it just goes to show you that the most sane, normal, able, mentally proficient, honourable, clean conscience, no criminal charges ever, still can't have what they want. So where we contract and we consent, you see there how the Club of Rome comes into play, and these policies and procedures. I just think it's nasty, and it needs talking about. It's something that really does need fixing. And going on with this, I get contacted quite a lot, okay, by men, male scribes that have had an argument. Now listen up, boys, listen up. This is one for the boys. Ladies, you're gonna like me for this, because it's gonna sort shit out once and for all. We need to stop this. One thing I can do is let you know that I get asked more often than not what to do when a domestic disturbance has happened at a weekend when we've been drinking and a little bit of alcohol's involved, and a woman might ring the police, a partner, and because alcohol makes us do that. I've been there. I've been a DJ and a raver. I've seen it all. I've done it all. I'm not a saint. Yeah, it's amazing that I'm still alive. Let me confess to you now. Obviously, I was kept to do things, so I thank for that. But boys, number one, if you are in a relationship, an agreement, a common law agreement, which is known as a relationship, and you have a family and you are not married and you've had it for 6 months and you are living there, residing, dwelling, habitat, and coinciding together as one, then I suggest you all sit down and have a serious chat and get some paperwork done, namely, certain last will and agreements, and if one of you is taken badly, God forbid it, or something happens, and you give authority and positions, and titles too, and you safeguard property and assets, because at the minute it seems that this television thing there is putting actors on the screen, dressing men up in makeup, taking real history, making it to be a story, putting it in front of you. You're watching it for entertainment. You're defying all of the, not you and I, but on a realm basis. The things in that film, it talks about realms. The 9 realms are in chaos. Thor stood there talking to somebody, and he's going, and the 9 realms, and what do? You sit here, and his dad isn't his dad. His dad's his brother. And there's dragons and horned ones and fire, and I'm like, history, everybody's just got, the wrong opinion. I'm not saying it's all right and you to believe the Hollywood things, but you see how we're led here and what's happening. So with the relationship with man and woman, if you love that woman, then she will appreciate you locking down the family, because I'm getting a little bit tired of this silly little thing where we have a drink at the weekend and there's an altercation and you fellas are shouting at the women and you're losing it because you're stressed out because of the Club of Rome and its pagan influence and everything, how it's angled, the programming, and the have-nots will, suffer, for want of a better word. We're easier. So you need to do paperwork, and when you get drunk, yes, don't fight with each other. And if you fight with each other when you get drunk, then don't get drunk ever. Find something else. And if it means you've got to smoke weed, or you've got to take time out and meditate, or you've got to go take some herbs, or find yourself and go on a retreat, then I suggest that might be done, because in these turbulent times, I need strong family. And if you are not able to recognize your own fractures within your home then that worries me. And fellas, I know why you're angry, and we can't fix all them problems. That begins here, yourself at the temple. You need to talk, and you need to cry in front of your woman. Maybe it's a weird time to cry in front of your missus because you think men should be strong, men should hold it down, men have got to know. All that's gone. Everything's on its head. Yes, you wouldn't believe. So this is the time where you need to hear from me that I can't keep pulling things out of the bag and telling you what's what. It's not my place to assault on rights. If you've got an issue in a family, find a best friend to ring. I wouldn't always ring the local borough constabulary. For number one, because they don't talk to you in a language which is the same as you. Number two, they don't disclose everything to you that is going to happen and what will happen and the after effects and the implications. Number three, if you've got assets and young offspring, children, commonly known as children, in the Club of Rome, they will take them. Number four, there's a list of about 20 reasons why you should not pick up the phone and dial 999 when you've had a drunken altercation. I stand here before you now and I say, please, everybody, if you know a couple like this, a family like this message must go out. We need somebody in the community that can lock down that street. And when shit goes down, no matter what time, and even if he's got work tomorrow at 5 a.m, he's appointed as trustee of the street. We lock it down like that. Oh, but you can't. Yes, you can. Now he's now trustee. Think of Shameless, Frank Gallagher, all of the depictions of England. This is England, and it is how you want it to be, and power is yours, and you haven't reserved it, so it's time to take it back and go and cap in hand to the bobbies, the bobbies on the beat there. Let's talk of Sir Robert Peel and the Peelian Code of Policing and how they got in, and what they're doing now as a private corporation. Prisons, they're private. It's become justice and administration masquerading as justice has become profitable. That makes me sick to the bone. No matter what you may think of me and how I am and how bad I am, that outside there, what has happened and how it's destroying families makes me sick. And if there is anything which I know I'm so speaking on behalf of, and it ever does come for vengeance, I hope I get to see some of that vengeance, because I, for one, find it very hard not to get angry and to control myself and to find the inner Dave, the balanced Dave. So I'm proud of myself for taking the time to do this, because it's 12 o'clock, it's late, I've got a lot on, my head's splitting, I've got too many jobs, I've got a lot of people to manage to talk to, the country, the economy, the prospects are crumbling. There's a lot of crap going off, and if you can't hold a family unit down and stop drinking, sniffing cocaine, smoking weed, smashing doors, and learn to have inner peace, then they've won. They have won already, because you are the key. And if you are not solid and one, and we haven't got a community, we've got nothing. I may as well stop now and delete every video and just go packing up and just go, actually, block me up to the tower, go and run off and live on an island with my mum or something and never be seen again. This is what I'm saying. So that's the point of the cast today, of scrambling, the rabble with the babble, because I'm not having a babble at all, and I appreciate it's not normal and desired, this kind of topical content, but women, please, ladies, sisters, women, see, look at me, I'm tired. Sisters, find somebody that your fella can sit down and chat with if there is a problem. If you're scared and you're in trouble, then that needs addressing, definitely. I'm not saying that every situation doesn't require some kind of external intervention, but when you're involving a private corporation that dress in black, that use a language from a black book, that use dark arts and crazy little rules and hidden little non-disclosed, it's not good. And what you think you are going to go and get is not what you're going to go and get. And what they speak and what they do and how they act is all twisted and warped. Whereas, look, common law sheriff, as I said to the Famalan in York, I wasn't taking piss. I says, all the mans in the room today with a common law sheriff outfit on that are looking just like an officer, may I add, emulating an officer, not breaking the chain, but mimicking one of them, but saying they're one of us, but they look like one of them. And I said, without any, negativity and to mean any malice, I like the principality of what you've done and how you're standing there and you're showing that you are somebody in the community that will stand up for the little man, the common man, the common law, the rights, and the, and oversee that, an overseer, another C, the oversee, the seer, the one that sees, that oversees the eye, the king of the seas. So I said, everybody is a common law sheriff. I'm not trying to shock anybody, but if any of you see a crime out there on a man and you do nothing, then by the rules of the universal rules, not the Club of Rome, not London, not ecclesiastical, not England and Wales, not the United Kingdom, but by basic decent rules, the rules of life, the rules of England, the rules of the realm, yeah, you don't have 12 men jump on one man. You don't go and rob you don't go and knock, you don't do it. Harm, injury and loss and common law is applicable to every man on the realm, no matter what his status, private, public, sovereign, slave, whatever. It's applicable to all. So that is kind of like God's laws, what were there that they've moved away. See Thor, when they blast the ceiling of this nice royal Michelangelo parody, and the Queen of Darkness comes, literally the Queen of Darkness comes and says, and death, misery, pestilence, that's who she is, and she shoots the ceiling and it reveals another true story. And I'm like, oh wow, it's just like it's not like, our saturation level, Dave, is only 45 minutes long. Can you make shorter videos? But yet we watch 2-hour Hollywood blockbusting programming bullshit films, and we pay for that, and we'll do it again. We got no love in the community. So I'm going to go to your comments, but this is from me to you, and it's my dump, and it's my time too. I give you a lot, yeah, so you've got to give to me here as well. And this message is important because there's a lot out there. I wouldn't say that antidepressants and alcohol are an ideal mix. Antidepressants and ganja, antidepressants and cocaine. I wouldn't even go near neurological brain toxin drugs anymore since I found out, what they did to my heart. And I've got enough energy as it is. They fucked my heart up, okay? So anybody that's trying beta blockers and other such things and whatever, this was one of my old school favourite tunes back in the day, a band called Moby. He was just going weird. The mixtape I did on the Broadfield pub in Sheffield on Abbeydale Road, 2002-ish. Big shout to the Sheffield Broadfield crew, that was some mad years. Richard Gaffney, aka Haraldo. Oh wow, such fun. The landlord was called Lady Karen of the Ogden clan, and the Ogden Massid. My brother Davy Ogden of Sheffield, ain't seen him for a long time. There's a lot of family out there fractured, and my family is, I don't feel like I belong, but that doesn't mean you can't be a man. That doesn't mean to say you can't take the bull by the horns. You have to adapt. Yeah, we're having anniversaries now of veterans again, of D-Day landings, and 17-year-old boys jumping off a boat with full regalia on and jumping into the sea and getting shot and going straight down in the sea because they didn't go far in because the seas were that choppy and they got misdirected, yeah? And it's like, the horrendous, horrific things we've been and done, the empire and everything, we won't ever see that again, I'm sure. But what we're seeing now, by sheer, it's like death by frustration, death by legal intervention. And I can't, stand by and watch this for much longer where, we haven't got this community resources, and that's where it relies upon. So if you would like to be a trustee under law with the creator, no legal, no papers, no stamps, you just get appointed and you let everybody know in the street, you have a little meeting and you sort that out and you lock it down. That's how we do it. I'm not saying you should sort everybody's problems out, but nobody knows the neighbour, nobody knows who. what, why, where. And what I've found out is by me reaching out and talking to you lot, an amazing amount of amazing, magical, excellent, unlimitless power is at your hands. And if you want to abuse it, let me tell you, there's a system that oversees. It's called the autonomy. Now, with that euthanasia in the Netherlands, what I can link on with that is where medical science has no answer. Don't get passionate. I'm going to draw it back in. Where medical science has no answer for cancer, wow, and other things that other countries and continents like Mexico, and there's a hospital in Beijing that uses no medicine that cures, and Greg Braden and other such, so autonomy, medical science, autom, as Santos has said, autumn, autonomous, autonomy, auto Sergey. It's not called auto for, automatic, yeah. It's autonomous, autonomy, as we've spoken to you, authority. So, these lot, they don't understand, as I've said about the solid states of matter with the solid, the water, the gas, and then the plasma, but they choose to reduce certain bits and redact it. So all I can say is that it's very interesting out there, the actual, analogies that we find, and yeah, there is a clear path, and those that can see it and walk it, well done and thank you. I'm going to go to your comments now. I think that's everything you need to know. I have messaged Santos, and I've offered to send him your emails, and there are emails coming in for Brother S, and I've said I'm going to forward them on, but to save me work, if you could go to his YouTube channel, he's got all the links there for his websites and stuff, and you can find I think music at something Mr. Astrology, or santosbonacci.com. There's quite a few you can use to send him information. That's another worrying area where perfectly knowledgeable, educated, well-to-do man and body, and it ends up getting some kind of affliction where you can't sleep and you itch and you tick, and there's suspicions of many things here, nothing actually rock solid diagnosed. I for one wouldn't want that. I wouldn't wish that on my enemy from some of the stuff that I've heard and seen. YouTube's full of bullshit, and it's also full of excellent, insightful, genuinely bang on information, but you get weighed down and bogged down with, the rubbish and the unsubstantiated, but, there is genuine call for direct energy weapons, and water does contain microplastics and fibers and so forth. There are testifications and video evidence from doctors out there finding microscopic alien parts in people. There's all kinds of mad, weird stuff that you would never imagine. Nanotechnology, little microchips, self-replicating, tiny. Oh wow, Papua New Guinea, future sound of London. That's what kind of DJ I was. I am turning that up just for that. Boots, cats, chickens, and cats, boots, cats. When I started DJing, I listened to music like this. Sorry if your speakers have just blown up, but imagine trying to have two songs like this and to blend them together and to separate all that noise. Oh yeah. Chicken tea cat, boots, cats, chicken tea cat, boots, cats, chicken tea cat. And that's not because I like boots or cats or chicken tikka, but with music and the structure of that, it's called a 4x4, 4 times 4, mathematics and music. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But when you've got all of that and you're in a nightclub or somewhere or where you're at, and there's a lot going off, you can't quite hear the beats. So when you hear all that, boots, cats, chicken tikka, I used to listen not to the beat because I couldn't find it. I'd listen to all that noise, and I'd get that noise and I'd hone it in. Boots, cats, chicken tikka, boots, cats, chicken tikka, and I knew where to drop it in. So, how brains work, mathematics, music, tones, everything is connected, everything must be balanced, The presidency is the last C that I'm going to shut down my babble with. I've said the King of C's, Francis d'Assisi, the papacy, the papacy, the Sea of Papers from the Papal Bull, the Leiden Buller, the Schmitz Cargo Bull, you know, Jedi Master there. The presidency, Donald Trump. That's what he controls. That's why he's here to see the Queen. Business will be going down. Islands disappearing. Shh, no, I didn't say that. Rewind. Bowl selector. Not islands be disappearing, but I'll turn that down. The presidency. That's a big old C, isn't it? Don't get mixed up and lost in that one. I'll go to the comments and then I'm going to sign off because I, for one, am tired and fried. That's my update. What we got in the house there? Celine Lion, easy. Amazing thunderstorm, aye. Aligna, sister, John. Day after tomorrow in 2012. Yes, messages in them, John. Geostorm, SpaceX. Geostorm, what? SpaceX. GA said it already. We said that together. Synchronicity, John. Watching Angels and Demons. Large Head. Hadron Collider. Yeah. Right, thank you, sister. Easy, Al. Jerry. Tartary had a free energy and that's great. Don't help us now. Or does it? Irish Gale Force. Hold up. Rewind. We're going back to the old school, the old ways. This empire, it's had its day. It's too much out. Just keep the faith. Invest in the community. Spread the knowledge. Stand tall and proud and vibrate well. I'm looking at the minute, a Tesla tower. I hope it works. I'm going to look a fool by it. Tesla tower made out of an old CD case that I've seen 2 videos on now, and I've never seen one in real life, so I've got to build it, see if it works, and if it works I'm going to explode. And if that works, after I've finished collecting myself up or calling in all the king's horses and all the king's men to put me back together again, that's a fine thing. A PDF with ingredients for a crystal battery that lasts 2 years, that can run DC motors, and you can get up to about 14-20 volt depending on how you build them, how you link them and that. And they're made out of lots of white powders, believe it or not the white powders that you would sniff, but borax, Epsom salts. There's about 5 different weird 5 different ingredients in there. The ingredients, they are you know, to be cooked, and you need copper and you need magnesium. It's not straightforward. It's not, you know, I'm going to have to test this one out. Anne-Marie's not going to like this one. And maybe destroy a kitchen. But yes, batteries, indeed, fuel cells, they interest me big time. But don't worry. Yes, Clint. Schmitz, that's it, Jesus. You know that truck. Easy. Agent of the Sea, agency. That's the one, Jonesy. You get it now. The seas of commerce. You are that agent in there. If you didn't know you was in that sea, now you do. You're in an agency. Like I say, the president is in the presidency. I was in a long dark tunnel, 1991. It's my first chosen language and I still don't know it. Me and you both, brother, me and you both. Huh? Euthanasia, dying, yes. It's no joke. I thought when I was 10, there was an issue about it. What a tune. Omni Trio. It's not Omni Trio. Get it right. Valley of the Shadows. Origin Unknown. Oh, you got this on 12-inch. You're a true collector. Euthanasia. Such a bad subject. We'll cover that in another hangout, not tonight. What? What? Rewind, selector. When I say the old school, we're going back. You've got the internet with that tune as you are cracking up. No. Clint Dave, would any water distiller be good enough to distill tap water? Yeah, yes, indeed, Clint. Well, when you say any water distiller, what, homemade? A water distiller that you buy as a water distiller will distill water from the tap, yeah. It was me, oops. Alright, geez, don't worry, no problem, JJ. It enables the City of London to stay sovereign whilst they remove all the human rights that are being won over the last 40 years. Well, those human rights are coming back. They're coming back, my love. Easy, Alan. Rewind on this one. Numpty Numpty was a cannon. Indeed. What was Numpty? 31 seconds. I so need a rave. We need a field. You can bring your own stuff, we'll put it on. We'll mix it all. Do you have to at this time? I know, sorry. Where would one find a seal in the sea? Sometimes around the watermark. Yeah, indeedy. Bless. Oh, bless, no stress. Send in the good vibes. So yes, I've got some interesting days ahead. Let's hope and send love and peace to Brother Santos and hope that he recovers as best as he can. I, for one. Oh, that's another thing. Wow, we had a synchronicity with him that I can't tell you about because it's personal. But he's blown away. He says I'm a weirdo. So that's how mad it is. All right. I found out something personal about him by connection of the atoms, the subatomic, and it's something personal he's never told me. And I said it twice, one day and then the day after, but I didn't know I was referencing something personal that I didn't know by using that. And then he just goes, look, I'm going to tell you. And I went, he goes, you're going to laugh at this. I went, why? And he goes, because it's weird. I went, go on. And maybe he'll tell you. But synchronicities, they're a good thing. They're not to be scared of. They're just a bit weird, that's all, when it gets personal, regular. Rave in the Cave, Handchurch, Wood, Stoke-on-Trent, Mad Tives. Oh, wow, Rave in the Cave. That sounds good. I don't think I went to a Rave in the Cave. Club Shush, Wicker Arches. It's the closest I had. Alright, John, I might be on Facebook tomorrow. I might go on Facebook and say, what's up, what's happening, just for the crack. Just go and ripple the waters, the commercial waters of Facebook. Sovereign Jeremita might just go live and go, what? So yeah, all is good. Thank you for the 11 thumbs up. Feeling strong, feeling good. That's all your updates that you need. I'm going to look at the .com tomorrow, making a lot of phone calls, doing a lot of admin. I'm about, and everything looking really, really good. Just try and yes, focus where you need to focus. And if you have got these relationship, family unit, we're not say relationship, but family unit. That's a military unit, isn't it? Your family, your tribe, your clan. Your clansmen and you are not too harmonious, then fix it and have that chat. All right, make that step. I want you strong because a strong family, a strong street, a strong community means that we are all strong together, and the weak cannot be left behind. There are some that need extra care, the elderly, the less abled, the pig ignorant. Well, they're a different kettle of fish. The arrogant, not perhaps draw them into it. They can make their own decisions, but you don't have to forcibly say to everybody in the street, you're in this club, because that's what the Club of Rome have done. You know, it's all voluntary, it's all by consent. But sometimes I often wonder, do we help ourselves by contracting via deceptive non-disclosure using a secret language with a private corporation masking around as constables? I don't think it's so. That's what I'm saying to you, hand on heart. So then how would we tackle that? Well, you go to the trustee of the street, which would be Big Dave, Big John, whoever. Don't have to be big. It could be a woman. There you go. An alpha female can run the show. It doesn't matter. As long as somebody, or a few of them, backups are there. It used to be called Neighbourhood Watch. That's where the bobbies went off the beat and got all the streets grass on one another and inform, and then they'd send somebody out rather than walking the street. That's sorry. It's just a critique way of putting things. It is indeed very critical. Well, those are other topics I wanted to talk to you about, but it is late and I am tired, so it hasn't even been a long week. It's just been a grueling week, mixed week, an incessant week of messages and going to and fro, keeping the finger on the button. Indeed. So if you've got nothing to say, everybody's all right, then I'm going to go. Sorry, top tune that. Turn it up. I've just turned it off because we're going. We will do a list later on for you. I'll give you Atom, Brexit, Scab, clean out, indie, dump away. Yes, I. Out this way. Sorry, I'm covering up the screen. Island, Island, Island. I like that. England is so PHU, so I like that. Frank Gallagher, yes, I scatter. Give me your house and you can die, lovely. What you want about here? What's going on? Oh, Jesse, that's not. I mean, Clint, that's horrible. Legal to a book. Yeah, it's ridiculous. You can't have, if you're in a lot of pain and you choose and say, no, I don't want to continue with this, I'd rather exit and go and have a chat with the big one, with the most high, then they say, no, we're legally keeping you alive. Euthanasia. I was catching up with you, Karen. Nobody does anything anymore, and people look out there. I'm not frozen, I'm all good. I'm just sat down there, chilling. I'm tired, I've got a bad back now. Yes. Morning, indeed. What? Yes, peace and love, scribes, to the 17. Thank you for the thumbs. And well, I'll be back soon with more updates on the .com, more videos as and when applicable and the mood arises. I'm going to go back and watch Thor Ragnarok, and I'm going to concisely look at what the Grand Master in itself, the 9 realms and stuff, what these myths that they portray as entertainment, after you've been on YouTube for a good 10 years and had a good, few documentaries, shockumentaries and rockumentaries all mixed in after all these times, and you begin to see a pattern, don't we? And Tartaria, as I've said about the 10 horns in my video where I was on about the prophecies, the Sea of Prophets and the Book of Daniel there, and the King's Dream and the subsequent, follow-up from, I haven't even finished that yet, so yeah, I've got loads to do. I'm reading a 216-page document that's got a lot of concise, articulate, particular information, and it's like the missing holes to everything that I've got, I think. So that's still taking some digesting. My chat with Michael is also taking some digesting, and I'm very grateful and honoured to have had that time. And I'm looking forward to what may possibly, come fruition in the future. I told him, yeah, that I'd watched quite a lot of his stuff, and that I like that angle that he did with the video of the declaration and so forth, and previous work. So yes, I thank you, scribes. Keep scribing, keep the scribes alive. And when I say that, I mean on a community basis. And yes, we'll be back soon. I'll give you more updates if we get emails and any news like that. I will go live and let you know. And that's it. I'm going to take a break, as they say in Barnsley. I'm taking a break. And when somebody big sits in a deck chair and it breaks, they call that Brexit. Nice one, Clint.